Hello, welcome to the Regula Young Group's buyer series. In this episode, we're going to talk about condo buying 101. And I'm going to ask Denise a few questions because she's really good with condos. How are you doing?
Good, and you?
I'm good.
Good.
Um, all right. So, Denise, what would you say the main types of condos people can buy, and who is each one best for?
Okay, well, there is apartment style condos, townhouse style condos, and then bare land condos, which typically has like a house built on it, or some sort of recreation. And so there's a lot of different kinds of condos anyway. So a condo basically is everyone buying into one project and co-owning maybe the overall either land or building or both. And then the declaration is basically saying this is how we're going to manage co-owning this space. And then everyone's going to have their own space in that space that they actually own 100%. So that's kind of like what a condo is. So you have shared amenities and stuff like that. Who is best for that? It really ranges. Townhouse style condos are great for, people that want to have a dog or, they might have a little yard. There's usually like play parks. It's great for kids. It's, awesome. Apartment style is, depending again, there's so many different apartment style ones. You could get into like big apartment that's has like lots of amenities. Maybe it has a
Pool.
pool and a gym and a party room or a lounge with a pool table or like all these different types of things so that you basically have your whole life in this
In the
apartment,
building. Yeah.
in this building. Yeah. And downtown we see those as like busy professional style apartments, but we see them a lot in the suburbs as like seniors apartments.
Yeah.
And those amenities might be very different, but very similar because it's basically giving you a social life.
Yeah.
And,
No, that's true.
yeah. And so condos are very like, I'll say more social. You
Yeah.
have to be able to get along with other people. If you're not, if you're not into getting along with other people, it might not be the best place.
You're always going to see your neighbors around.
Yeah, yeah. And honestly, that's almost the point of a condo in the sense that like it's community living, right? So a condo I recently sold, like they literally all take care of each other, right? Like, and I love that, right? Like they're checking in on each other. And like I just happened to be in the lobby with my client and everyone was coming down to get their mail and everyone's checking in with each other. And they were like super excited that she might be buying. And like, it was just crazy. And I'm like,
Yeah. I have a family member that lives in a condo, and she's noticing that they all want to know your business, but they're all like caring and
yeah, they want to know it in
make
a
sure
good way.
everyone's okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
they
like
want to know it in a
coming
good way.
from living in the country, it was like different for her, right?
A
So
little,
a little
little,
bit of a shock.
yeah.
What would you say the biggest differences between owning a condo and owning a house?
The people. Also, the purchasing process, like now you own part of the building, right? So
Yeah.
now there's shared decisions. Okay, so
All
the
in.
roof looks
Yeah.
like it's going to need to be done soon. How are we going to like plan to get to that point? Whereas when you own a house yourself, you're like, oh, I could leave it forever and let it
Yeah.
leave. You know,
Well, and they
you're
do
not
like
gonna
a
do that.
snow clearing and everything. So, like you said about seniors, I feel like when you own a condo, yeah, like there's a lot less maintenance, I guess.
Right. A lot of it's taken care of. I have seen in some self-managed buildings where like
I just find those difficult to get condo documents from, but they are
oh,
nice.
really? My parents lived in a self-managed, and the condo, the guy that we had to deal with, he was amazing when we were in the process of buying it, and then when they lived there, he would like was on them right away to be like, "Hey, so what do you like to do?" and whatever, because he gave them jobs because it kept their condo fees so much lower than other buildings of its kind. And it was a very well maintained building. And my stepdad, having been in building for a very long time, was like, hey, I can see that this needs maintenance and this needs maintenance and this needs maintenance. And he was kind of put in charge of making those things happen, not doing
Yeah.
them themselves, but making sure that the right trades were hired to
Hired, supervising.
properly. My mom loves to garden, so they did some of the gardening. And yeah, they didn't get paid for it, but like they got to do something that they enjoyed. And when they would travel, someone else took care of it. But like,
Yeah.
like it was low pressure.
Yeah.
And,
No, that's nice.
yeah, exactly.
What should buyers ask about condo fees and special assessments so they don't get surprised after they move in?
It's always good to ask how often the fees go up. Most condos have an annual increase. And also how often there has been special assessments, or if there's any special assessments planned for the future. I've seen some buildings who literally do a special assessment like 3 or 4 times a year. And I've seen other buildings that have never done a special assessment. So it's nice to ask those questions so that you know what to expect moving there. If you're, committing to a building that's at your top range of what you want to spend on condo fees, and then they're also doing a special assessment 3 times a year, because they do it for every little thing that they want to improve and not take any money out of the reserve fund ever, then, maybe that's not the right building for you. Or maybe it is. Maybe you like to plan like that better, right? Like,
yeah, you also don't want the reserve fund to be, not able to cover.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And I mean, the building I'm talking about that was doing constant special assessments is a pretty high-end building. And so their special assessments were like $500 or $600 or $1,000. And to the people that were living there, that was nothing for them, right? So even though it had lots of special assessments, they weren't $10,000 every time, right? Like the majority of them were only a couple $1,000s. And the people would rather, they would rather the hallway get new carpet than and not take it out of the reserve fund than have to, deal with rundown carpet.
Yeah.
So yeah, and they decided to buy all new equipment for their gym one time. And so they weren't planned for items. And then they were like, oh, all of a sudden we have this. So we don't want to take this out of the reserve fund because that money is set aside for certain things.
Yeah.
Which is, the right way to do it. So because we now want to do this extra project, we're going to have everyone pitch in, $1,000.
Nice.
And then we'll have all new gym equipment. So just stuff like that. It's just stuff that's good to know ahead of time. And that's why you also want to spend a lot of time reviewing your documents in that 7-day cooling off period. You don't want to skip reading the documents. The documents that you're going to be given are going to be things like the budget and the financials,
as well as fund study.
Yeah, the reserve fund study is a really good one to look at because it talks about how the building's been maintained in the past and how it should be maintained in the future. So, and that study is supposed to be done every 5 years. So you should have a good idea of, it says in here that the roof is supposed to be done in the next 5 years. Have they done the roof? Is there a plan to get the roof done? Stuff like that, right? So you can get an inspection done on a condo, but typically the inspector is not going up on the roof.
No.
Right? So he's inspecting the interior of the condo, whether it has a furnace or not, or whatever is contained in that condo. He might get to inspect a few other things outside of the condo, but typically it's not things like getting on the roof. So that reserve fund study is really good for those external things, like, what's happening with the parking lot? What is the plan for getting rid of a couple of dips that are starting to happen that might turn into bigger potholes? What is, right? It's going to address a lot more of the building.
Yeah.
That we're typically not looking at when we look at the condo.
Yeah. No, that all makes sense. And there's obviously so much more, but when you're looking at purchasing a condo, we'll walk you through the process. And, if we dump it all on you at once, it's just a lot. So that's pretty much the gist of condo buying. And yeah.
Perfect.
Well, thank you for watching.
And if you found this useful, please subscribe, like, and share. Thanks so much.